This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Carbonite. Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here. This is my review of the LG Optimus G Pro. This is a very giant phone that's running Android. It's currently on AT&T right now. And so I'm going to talk about the hardware, the specs, the cameras, the display, the software, and just see where this phone stacks up against some of the other big phones in the market right now. So let's go to start the review with the hardware. Alright, so this LG Optimus G Pro is one of the biggest phones on the market right now, but first I'm going to take a look around the device and take a look at the buttons and the ports. Now on the left hand side you will find the volume rocker, and also you'll find this quick button at the top, which is going to allow you to have quick access to any application that you choose. You can have it set to when you press the button it'll activate your camera, you can activate Google Chrome, you can activate your gallery, anything you want to choose to activate it, and that's a pretty nice and nifty button to have on this phone. On the right hand side you'll also find the power button. At the bottom you'll find the micro USB port, and then also at the top you'll find the headphone jack, and to the right of that you'll find an IR port, because this phone can be used to control your TV just like a lot of the other top smartphones on the market right now. And so setup was a breeze. It literally took me probably 45 seconds to get this thing set up and working with my cable box, and it has a couple of cool software settings as well where you can access this in the multitasking pane as well, so you don't have to open up the application all the way. Very quick access, which I do like. And so overall the TV functionality does function well. Now, one other nice touch that LG added to this phone is that the home button itself is the notification light. That's normally a little light that's somewhere on the phone. Well, this is a pretty big notification indicator to let you know that you have a phone call that you missed, or a missed text message, or emails, or things like that. Now, you can turn that off in the settings if you don't want this thing to be blinking all the time, but I think it's a nice little touch. Now, also this phone does have a removable back, so you can take this back cover off, and now you have access to the micro SD card slot that you can use to expand your storage, and also you'll get to the SIM card slot from here, and then also you'll see this big whopping 3140 milliamp battery. And just for my personal uses, I was able to get at least a full 2 days of uses out of this phone, which is very nice to have. And then also if the need does arise, you can replace the battery with another spare battery, because this cover does come off, which is definitely going to be handy. And one thing I didn't like about this phone is the speaker. Not only just the speaker placement, because it's on the back, because it's a very small speaker for a phone of this size, and just the quality of the speaker was not really that great at all. And after using a phone like an HTC One, speakers is definitely going to be something I start to notice a little bit more. As far as the overall look and feel of this phone, it's very comparable to the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, because size-wise they're very similar, and also too the plastic back feels exactly the same as it feels on the Note 2. Now, one thing, when you are holding this thing in your hand, it does feel a little bit better than the Note 2, and that's partly because it's a little bit skinnier, because they really took the bezel down around the screen. And speaking of the screen is a whopping 5.5-inch 1080p Full HD display, which has 400 ppi, that's pixels per inch. So it definitely is not the highest PPI on the market, but the display is big and beautiful. It's almost like you're holding a small TV in your hand. So when you are watching, especially when you're watching videos back, I really did have a really good experience on this phone because of the big screen, and the quality was top notch. And also, one quick note, you can actually zoom in while watching video on this phone. So for some reason you want to get closer to the action, you can just pinch and zoom in. Now you'll be closer in your video. Now, as far as the internal specs, this phone does feature a Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 processor that's 1.7 gigahertz, and it is a quad-core CPU. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM, has LTE, of course, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of that good stuff, and it's going to have 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but because you have the micro SD card slot, it can support up to 64 gigabytes. Now let's take a look at the cameras on this phone. Now, the front-facing camera is a 2.1 megapixel full 1080p camera, and then the rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter that can also do full 1080p video as well. As you can see from these examples that I'm showing you right now, this phone doesn't have the best cameras on a phone that I've seen recently right now, but these shots are going to be decent. As far as the pictures and videos, it will be average enough for you to be able to get some decent shots and work with them. But this phone does have some cool software features going along with it. Now, just like you've seen on the Samsung Galaxy S4, you now have this dual recording feature that will allow you to record with both the front facing camera and the rear facing camera at the same time, even though you can't edit those like you can do in the S4, but it's still a nice feature to have. Then also has an audio zoom mode, which will allow you to pinch in and zoom in on a particular subject. So say you have a group of people and you want to really hear the audio coming from that one particular person, you can zoom in on their face and they'll amplify that audio for that person. And then the camera also has a mode called time catch, which will basically be taking pictures before you press the shutter button. So just in case you miss an important moment, you can go back and look through those certain shots and choose which ones you want to keep. Now, just to quickly sum up this camera section of this review, you wouldn't be buying this phone for the best camera smartphone on the market right now, but because I do like the software that goes along this camera, I would say this camera is going to be decent enough for most people out there. All right, that's going to hit up the software section of this review. Now, the LG Optimus G Pro is running Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean, but it is running its own personal skin on top of that, just like a lot of the other phones on the market right now. But anyway, I really do like this skin, actually. Everything from the lock screen animation, from when you open it up, the phone has kind of this bubble effect. You can actually tap on the icons down below to open up one of those individual applications using that same effect. Then after you get past the lock screen, I really do like the different animations that this phone does have when you're sliding left and right through the different home screens, and you can change the animation. It has a few different ones you can choose from in the settings to your own personal taste, but it really does make navigating just through the phone just a little bit better. Now, it does have the regular multitasking that you get with a lot of the Android devices, but also too, if you go into the notification panel, you'll see this section for Q-Slide apps. So these are a certain number of applications that you can use in conjunction with other applications while using the phone. And so you have one that's going to be for videos. This will allow you to continue to watch a video at the same time while you're browsing the web or doing most other things. And also does have this little slider which you can make it transparent, and then now it's going to be kind of impervious to touch. So it'll just be sitting there on your screen, and you can actually slide your finger over it, but it's not going to change the video at all. Now, the other Q-Slide applications include a notepad and also a calendar and a calculator. And then you can also have up to 2 of these running at the same time. So I can be watching the video and also calculating my taxes if I wanted to at the same time. So just overall, I really think that the LG Optimus G Pro does a good job when it comes to multitasking. And this phone does also have some other useful features like one-handed operation. They have some settings for that. So if you're using the phone with just your right or left hand, you can have so that the dial pad will move to the left or the right hand side of the screen, and even the keyboard can do the same thing. And that's just going to make it a lot easier just to use this big old phone with one hand. Also does have a quiet time sound setting, which basically you can specify like 10 o'clock every night. I want to make sure everything on my phone is muted besides my alarm or something like that. And so overall, I do like the direction that LG is going with the software on this Optimus G Pro, even though I do see a lot of inspiration from other devices on the market right now when it comes to their software features, but I think LG is trying to pack their phone with some nice useful features, and so I definitely think they did a good job with this. All right, so now it's time to wrap up this review just with my overall opinion about this phone. Well, I think its main competition right now is still going to be the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I think if you already own a Note 2, you're probably not going to be compelled to buy this phone, but if you're looking for a big phone on the market right now that's going to give you all of that screen real estate for either watching movies or multitasking with the Q-Slide applications and things like that, you're really going to like this phone. It doesn't have the best cameras on the market right now, so I wouldn't buy this phone for cameras, but I think that when it comes to the battery life, the display size, and the display quality, and the little different software tweaks that LG has done with this phone, I think it's a very, very nice solid phone that if you, again, looking for one of the big phones on the market right now to carry around with you for multitasking and doing things like that, you're really going to like this LG Optimus G Pro. And so you can pick this phone up right now on AT&T for $200 with a 2-year contract. And so guys, I want to hear what you think about this LG Optimus G Pro. Leave your comment down below. But before I do officially end this video, it's going to take one look at our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Carbonite. Carbonite Online Business Backup is a backup solution which is automatic and is for your computers, your hard drives, your servers that may be at your home office or your small business. But say something happens to your computers, like they crash or somebody breaks in and steals them, you'll still be able to access all of your files that were backed up because Carbonite does that automatically, and you and your employees can even access them on a smartphone or an iPad with the free Carbonite app. So for a low flat fee, Carbonite will keep your business protected no matter how many computers you have, and you can start a free trial right now, no credit card needed, at Carbonite.com with the offer code SOLDIER today, and you'll get 2 months free if you decide to buy. Again, that's Carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 months free is SOLDIER. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. Again, leave your comment down below, but also too, all the links to my social networks, my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are down below as well. And thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.